So, hello everybody, this is Bhante Joe here, and I'm just here at Endagala, which is this rock, which is this rune in the middle of the forest, and thought to record a short Dhamma discussion for the internet. So I thought that maybe could start with a little meditation, so we can lean forward a bit and arch the spine, and look about 3 feet in front, and close our eyes. And can focus in on the breath. Can know when it's coming in and know when it's going out. If we breathe in a long breath, can just know I'm breathing in a long breath. And if we breathe in a short breath, can just know I'm breathing in a short breath. And can focus in on the breath at the tip of the nose. And if notice any patterns of tension or tightness around the nose or the face, can just let those relax. And when breathing in and out from the tip of the nose, it can be good to try to make mindfulness as continuous as possible. Being aware all the way through the in-breath. As the in-breath turns to the out-breath. All the way through the out-breath. And as the out-breath turns back to the in-breath again. Trying to keep mindfulness as continuous as possible. And before we finish meditating, can spread thoughts of goodwill. Wishing all beings all around everywhere happiness and ease. Wishing may they put in place the causes necessary to be happy and at ease. And we can make our minds infinite. Can make them unbounded. All the way to the ends of the universe and beyond. In every dimension. May all beings all around everywhere be happy and at ease. And can open our eyes and do a short Dhamma discussion for the internet. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tutiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. So hope that everybody is having a great day, wherever it might be. And it's nice weather here, just about to enter into what they call the Vasa period, or the rainy season retreat period. That starts in a few days. And so had asked suttas.com if they had any questions that might like to hear Dhamma discussions about, and sent me a list of a bunch of them. And one of them was, it said that we should forgive and forget, but should we really forget? And so this is kind of one of the interesting things in the Buddhist teachings. Basically, there's two people who are kind of considered fools. It's kind of the person who, on doing something wrong, doesn't ask for forgiveness. I mean, you don't have to do that with every minute detail. And the other one is the person who, on being asked for forgiveness, doesn't forgive. And so there is this kind of distinction between forgiveness and forgetting. So if a person, one in the Buddhist teaching has said, even if somebody were to, two bandits, even if a person were to be kind of going on a road or so and get abducted by bandits, and they took a big two-handled saw and carved one up limb by limb, one would still not generate hatred for that person. In other words, in that sense, one would still forgive them, and that one wouldn't bear a grudge against them and want kind of bad things to happen to them. However, if one was going down a road and bandits tried to abduct one and one escaped, then the next time one would go down that road, one might want to be really careful of bandits, or go in a big group of people, or one might want to call the police. In other words, one wouldn't forget that kind of thing. So there are times, though, when one can both forgive and forget. There are these times when one can forgive but not forget. Basically, always forgiveness is something that one can do. But there are also these times that one can both more or less forgive and forget. I mean, if somebody, everybody has their kind of flaws. Everybody has their kind of, character flaws. People sometimes have bad days. And for example, if, say, your friend, your close friend you've been friends with for many, many years, has done many good things for you, and you've had a good relationship for a long time. They've been with you through good times and bad. And then one day, out of nowhere, you're maybe talking a little bit and they say something rude to you, kind of slightly rude, and kind of maybe like, cut you off in the middle of a sentence and say, shh, don't talk right now. Maybe somebody shushes a person when they're watching a movie. Try to talk during a movie and get shushed. Then generally these kind of very minor things can be something that one can, in basic terms, both forgive and forget, and that one wouldn't actually have to actively keep it in mind. Oh, wait a minute, this guy shushed me during the movie. I mean, you could. I mean, next time be a bit more polite. But as time passes by, a few weeks or a month, if it was some blip or some anomaly, then one could basically just both forgive and forget. If it happened again, then, one would want to have it in memory to that extent. Then if it was a pattern of behavior, then in that case, then one wants to notice, kind of be more mindful of it. So I guess that would be the distinction. If all the time, if somebody, whatever people do to us, we forgive them, in the sense that we don't bear enmity towards them. We don't have a grudge against them, and we don't want to see bad things happen to them. We wish, even for people who saw us limb from limb, may you learn how to do skillful things. May you enter on a skillful path, a path that will lead you to happiness. And kind of when people are doing cruel or mean things, then this is something that's going to lead both to their unhappiness and to the unhappiness of people around them. So we actually don't gain anything by people kind of being in misery. It's much better if they genuinely change their behavior and reap the good results of that. So we always forgive in that sense. In terms of forgetting, it's kind of like this continuum, I guess you'd say. There's times when you basically don't forget, kind of want to keep it strongly in mind. One has gone down a dangerous road with bandits and they've tried to abduct one. Okay, next time going down that road, go with a big group of people. Maybe go with, if one can get a police escort, then that might be good. There are times that one can more or less forgive and forget, and kind of, these blips in people's behavior, one's spouse or one's children, or people who one is living with, they do something kind of, maybe a little mean towards one. They could be having a bad day, somebody might have yelled at them, they lost control of their emotions temporarily. It's something that one can basically forgive and forget. And kind of a month or two, barely remember that it happened. Might have to remind you of it. But perhaps the linchpin of when one can both forgive and forget is when things become a behavior pattern. If it's just a blip, then one can easily forgive and forget it. Kind of some kind of anomaly that a person is eliminating. But if one sees this kind of pattern in a person's behavior that's dangerous to oneself, when somebody's harming one as a behavior pattern, then one wants to be aware of that. One wants to take note of it. And sometimes kind of one might notice kind of these small areas of behavior in the people one interacts with, and it could be a danger to oneself. Kind of notice these kind of small signs. So if a person that one just meets and seems very friendly towards one, then starts to, just as kind of, picking an example off the top of my head, starts to kind of, ask for money on different occasions. And then one starts to, notice that person, might get suspicious that this person is out to get something from you. And kind of have to be careful of that, even if people's behavior is consistent. But in general, one can observe these things as patterns of behavior. Kind of keep small blips in mind, but to see if the direction that a person's going in, another person one's interacting with, is harmful towards oneself, then one wants to have this kind of mindfulness. So in other words, one can always forgive, but as far as forgetting, it's an area where one has to use one's wisdom. If it's something that's very dangerous, one can always keep it in mind. If it's something that's a little blip, one can forget it. And if it's something that's a kind of behavior pattern, that one is feeling wary that this might be a dangerous behavior pattern, then one can observe it and kind of, more or less watch it, kind of forget it in a sense if somebody does minor negative things to one over and over again, if it's not a big deal, but observe it to see if it's going in a negative direction. And this is for the sake of protecting oneself. So Buddhism is pragmatic in this way, in that there is this element of forgiveness. We always forgive and always wish the best for everybody. But there's also this element of self-protection, in that one also wants to be kind towards oneself. One wants to protect oneself from dangers. And so we're much more careful about when and how we forget. It's something that requires wisdom, to know when things can just pass by, when they should be observed, and when they should be kept in mind strongly for the sake of protecting oneself, protecting others, and moving forward and having good and wholesome interactions with others, interactions that leave a positive feeling on one's mind and help to give one a foundation for practice. Okay, so I think leave that for reflection, and hope that everybody has a great day, and wishing you all the best till next time.